Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me, as always, is Trevor Scott.
Yes, I am here.
Hello, Trevor.
Hello. This is a bit of a weird night.
Yeah.
Because it is a Sunday, not a Thursday.
That's it. Well, it's been a week. It's the birthday week in my house. 3 out of my 4 kids have birthdays over the course of 48 hours. So, and they all 3 had birthday parties. So it's been tricky, but they're done now. And
been tricky. You're done for another year.
Yeah, basically. Well, no, it's my wife's birthday in 2 weeks, but
yes, but
less to do for that one because she's not. I don't have to organise all her friends to come over for a slumber party.
Why not? She should have all her friends come over for a slumber party.
I mean, that's what I said, but she's not into it. What are we going to do tonight, Trevor?
I think we're going to do some what 3 words, because why not? Let's do something a bit different that we haven't done for a while.
Okay.
So
yeah, that sounds good. Well, as some of you might know, what 3 words is an application or an API or a system where they've split the world up into 3-meter chunks and assigned 3 words to each of those chunks for, various useful reasons, including useful for us, getting us 3 random words that we then make video games from. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Trevor, what 3 words do you have?
I have crisped, yachts, stumped. So stumped, STUMPED, but crisped was CRISPED.
Yeah, okay. Someone has been crisped.
Yeah.
So it's one of those words, too many consonants in it. Crisped.
Yes.
Well, I immediately went to someone was set on fire on a yacht and someone's trying to solve the case and they are stumped. So I think this is a, Poirot Knives Out style murder mystery on a boat.
Yep, murder mystery on a boat. Okay, has the boat come back and it's just completely burnt to a crisp?
Oh, like everyone. Yeah. Maybe
and you're an arson investigator.
On the boat. Everyone on the boat has burned, but there's not that much damage to other stuff. So figuring out what has been burned is like really key to solving the case. And
of course, how? Like, where did the accelerant start and all this sort of stuff? Like, was there retardant put on certain parts of the ship to stop it from burning? Or yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think taking it as the usual. You're trying to figure out the motive here. You're trying to figure out who did it, who would have the knowledge of how fire, travels well. And this is someone with an expert knowledge of controlling fire in some way, Yeah, I mean, it's an arson investigator. I haven't ever seen a game that does that sort of thing. But to also set it on a boat is interesting.
Well, there's lots of water about.
Yes.
And that's, as we know, water is the natural nemesis of fire.
Yeah.
It's been a long rivalry.
Yes, as we all know.
Yeah. Water stole fire's mascot one year and then they had to get it back.
And then fire did a panty raid on water's fraternity and, things have never been the same.
There's just no trust there. And then the Dean of Elements had to put them on probation.
I was gonna try and come up with something instead of Kappa Kappa. I was going to call it Camper for campfire, but I'm like,
right, yeah. Well, Phi is a is
Kappa
an elephant,
Kappa
right?
Phi.
Yeah. That little aside doesn't help our game though. So
it doesn't.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I like this from a. It's not this, but I'm getting elements of Obra Dinn of just like coming aboard a ship and figuring out what happened and there's no one left alive.
Yeah.
But there could be sort of some parts of that in that, you do have to identify these people in various ways. Maybe from the ship's manifest, or you've got like photos of the boat when it left, and so you're identifying pieces of clothing, that remain unburnt, or jewelry, or
or distinguishing features,
prosthetics, like, So that'd be
having to
like,
get down to dental at one stage. That could be kind of interesting.
Yeah, like I think having those sorts of deductions that you're making, and again, it's not a whole Obra Dinn thing of this is your whole game identifying all these people, but it's part of the whole investigation is, okay, well this was clearly this person based on these, 2 pieces of evidence or whatever.
Yep.
And then, I guess just piecing together the relationships, piecing together the opportunities of how could this actually happen.
And, is there, evidence of someone else being on board?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like that there's actually a missing person and they are the ones who did it.
Well, actually, and then that's a really good reason for you to have to identify all these remains is you've got the manifest, or you've got the photos, or you've got whatever. It's like these are the people we know, or like we have evidence that it left with, who is not amongst the dead.
Yeah.
And then you could have a little twist of it could be someone completely different, but having that as an element.
They literally could have come across someone, you find, pirates actually came aboard, not the yo-ho-ho pirates, but, actual, we're gonna rape and pillage pirates. Kind of scary.
And burn things very specifically.
Yeah. Arson pirates.
Yeah. That's cool.
Me like fire. Ben, what 3 words?
I have dined, lyceum, bootlegger.
Okay.
Now, I'm just looking up lyceum. It seems to be something to do with schooling. It's a type of school or a historical venue for public lectures and discussions.
Cool.
So that's interesting. Yes, an institution for popular education providing discussions, lectures, concerts, etc. So, some sort of large discussion area. And then bootlegged and dined. Bootlegger and dined. So,
okay, so I'm thinking 1920s then.
Okay, just because bootlegger brings that to mind, alcohol and such.
Brings, the
prohibition and that sort of
prohibition and all that sort of stuff. It kind of makes me think of, what if, you've got this, what if you've got this, like, really fine dining restaurant, right? And so it's in the 1920s. Basically, they go down into what used to be their wine cellar, and they pull across, a bookshelf, and that's where they get the wine in, and all these rich people coming in and having their meals downstairs in this dark and dingy basement, just so that they can have a glass of wine with their drinks, and you're having to sort of manage, if a policeman comes in or anything like that, you got to obviously make sure that all the wine is away. And
so like an upper class, what's the fucking word for the hidden thing?
Speakeasy.
Yeah, like an upper class speakeasy kind of thing.
I just love the idea that, like, the front is just a normal cafe sort of dining experience, and then the people who can actually afford it, they come into the dark and dingy. But it's the only place that they can really do it. So you got this cute cafe that you got to manage up the top, and then, if they come in investigating and finding out, why are all the rich people downstairs in the dark and dingy, you can sort of have a thing of, it's
a special
it's a
fine
theme
dining
restaurant.
experience. Yeah, it's the world's first theme restaurant.
Oh god.
I like that. I could almost see this as a bit of a just sort of a visual novel style thing, almost of going back and forth between these two sections and almost having to manage through dialogue. Yeah, someone's come in to investigate and what's going on. Or this person's particularly shifty. Maybe they're, an undercover cop or...
Yep.
But yeah, mostly doing it through getting to know these characters through dialogue and, kind of taking some different branches and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. So I'm thinking almost like you're running... Either you're the maitre d', sort of, or the head of the waiters having to, make sure that you're getting the right wine out to the right people and making sure that it's not going upstairs. And I like the idea
or do you do a bit more of an underdog role where you're just like a busboy, like you're like a, janitor or something, but wine super well and you're kind of having to almost behind the scenes smooth things over for the actual people running the place.
Okay, the reason is you were a sommelier, but now you're not actually really needed, but they of course need you. So you can't. They've given you the job of janitor.
Right, you have to. Yeah, okay, I like that. You're not legally allowed to be a sommelier anymore. So you've taken on this other role as cover. So you're an undercover sommelier. Is pretty good.
I just love the idea that you're constantly moving like your bucket and mop around, but then when you lift up the mop, you pull out the bottle of wine and now we just need to let this air for a little bit, and then you get rated, so you put it back into the bucket.
I almost like that as a stealth element of, you have to serve this wine and still kind of do it so that the customers feel like they're getting, a fine dining experience. But you're literally pulling it out of, your janitor's cart or your bucket or whatever, dripping stinky water everywhere, and then, having to not let certain people see it.
Because it wouldn't be right if it was clean water. It's got to look used.
Oh, that's it. It's like, why is this janitor going around with a bucket of clean water and ice with champagne in it?
Clean water's not going to clean no floor. It's got to be dirty water.
Well, it just shows that they haven't been doing their job.
It always boggles the mind that they never go and clean the bucket. Because I remember when I was having to work at Coles doing said, cleaning up of spills and that sort of stuff, I would always go get a brand new bucket of, water, and then once it was done, I would go and clean it out straight away so that it was ready for the next spill.
That's
not have a bucket of dirty water around.
That's why you make the big bucks
now, because
you've got that attention to detail.
Oh God!
All right, hey Trevor, what 3 words?
Oh, what 3 words? I've got non-economic, rocking. Rewiring.
Ooh. Okay. I mean, rewiring is always fun. I like a good wiring mechanic. Hooking things up to automate or to function based on triggers in some way.
Yeah.
Rocking. I wonder, is this like something to do with bands?
Yeah.
What was your first word?
Non-economic.
Oh yeah, non-economic. Yeah, that one's kind of whatever. We can, if there's something for that, it's good. But yeah, I wonder if there's been a sound-based, very heavily sound-based automation sort of game in some way, triggering things based on like loud music or and I don't know what's the goal of a game like that.
Okay, you're recording music, but during the whole recording process, like they're rocking so hard that they're blowing fuses left, right, and center. So you continually rewiring the console to make sure that you capture,
Okay, all right. I do like the idea of rewiring and having to reroute a really complicated kind of mixing board of some sort.
Yeah. It's like the guitar's coming through this channel. Oh, great. Yeah. We've just been recording, a bunch of this, and now, this something's happened to like one of the tube. The vacuum tubes. Or one of the vacuum tubes. Something's happened to it, and it's now distorted as fuck. So you now need to, you still want a clean record. So now you're having to quickly rewire that to another channel. And,
I like the idea of almost discovering new, like the music. But it changes the music, right? And maybe it ends up sounding really cool because, the only way I could continue recording was to route it through this particular filter, component or whatever. And so it added all this, this is different tone to the whole thing, added a ton of reverb or something. But so this is what the final thing sounds like, but it's sort of all done real time in response to these particular things, failing or
I don't think we've ever really seen a game where you're like having to virtually record music.
But I think doing it in a very I don't think you go for this is a simulation of a real mixing board or whatever. You make it very
gamified,
abstracted and kind of like the music, this particular channel comes through here, and you can route it through these different things that have different effects, or you almost end up having a pipe dream situation of the music's coming through here, but I had to turn this thing, and it's only got three, the output's only going these directions, so it had to go through these filters and ended up in this recording thing or whatever. That could be really cool though, because you're getting sort of these live changes to different tracks that are then mixing together into something weird and cacophonic, but maybe strangely beautiful if you're lucky.
I don't know why, but I just started laughing at the idea of having a custom peripheral, of which you've got basically a patch board, and you're having to reroute, physically while you're doing it. So you're taking individual ones out and patching it into something else. Like that could be really fun. Like you've got all the channels, and you can sort of play on the patch board. I do like that idea. Now I'm thinking of
what if you were to release a custom peripheral like that? What are the different types of games you could make that are all based around just patching wires together in some way?
I mean, you've got a game that we talked about a long time ago that was literally about the old timey phone sort of thing.
Yeah, like so you've definitely got switchboard sort of stuff. Yeah,
you've got wiring up a stage for like a Guitar Hero game.
Yeah,
you've got to just do all the sound deck beforehand,
and the pyrotechnics and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but what I love is you can actually have like different length cables, and so.
Oh, okay. So that could almost be part of the limit.
It's almost part of the limit. You've only got so many, and in this game, it's like especially coded that kind of like USB-C cables all have little chips in them. These patch cables have little chips in them, so you have to use the ones that we give you. So that you can't just go ahead and bring your own patch cables, because otherwise that's cheating.
Well, I mean, that's fine. I think if you're making a peripheral like this. Yeah, you just make it work. You'd assume that they're not bringing patch cables. But I do like this idea because I actually like the idea of having like then LEDs in the cables that can light up in different ways. So like you're giving feedback directly in the peripheral that can then be driven by the game.
Yep.
That's
But having a little LCD on there going, okay, this is Mr. Phillips' call, so I know that he has to go.
Maybe. I mean, I think you'd have that sort of information still in the game. Like you could keep the peripheral relatively simple, but it's a bunch of cables that can plug into a bunch of ports, and they can change colors. Both, maybe both the ports have a little LED above them that can be a particular color. The cables can do different things. But, you could have cool things like, oh, this cable's failing, so the lights on it start to flicker on and off, so you can you got that feedback coming in through the peripheral. That'd be really, I don't know. I like the idea of writing a game for custom peripherals that are actually doable.
I feel like this would be actually doable. Like if you got got yourself a cool Raspberry Pi or something like that, you could very easily build
absolutely.
I mean,
literally all you're doing is completing circuits with plugs essentially, and you can tell which one's plugged into which.
Yep.
And then have some lights and stuff on there that you can control. Like absolutely doable.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I really love that idea.
I kind of want to. I'm not good with electronics. You're much better with electronics than I am. My dad is really into it, though. I kind of want to go over to his place and build that.
Yeah, and you build the first version as just a bunch of
you just hack it together.
6 mil patch cables and just hack it together and see how that goes. And that's so cool. Ben, what that's 3 words?
Detouring, historicists. Wildness.
Ooh.
Now, historicist is an interesting word. Historicists, those who subscribe to the philosophical or historic approach known as historicism. Okay. Understanding phenomena by examining their historical development and context. Right. So it's like interpreting history in different ways, basically, I think. So that's kind of interesting. Well, I mean, and detouring around history is interesting. Could this be like a time travel-y sort of
a time travel type of game where you're trying to work out, okay, with our latest trip, what actually changed in the time stream?
Or how do I go back and create a time detour essentially to avoid a specific thing happening? Or
I just want to avoid me having to go to my sister's wedding. Something.
Yeah,
something
that's it. So I'm
like
just going to go back 23 years and bang on the window while my parents were having sex.
And she won't be born.
Yeah.
But it turns out you get twins.
At the very least, my sister might be cooler. It's like, oh shit, now there's 2 of them.
And they both getting married the same day.
Well, no, worse. They're getting married a week apart. Now I've got two weekends to go on to weddings. I do kind of love the idea of this ridiculously overpowered technology being used for the most mundane, trivial shit.
Exactly. It's the only thing that actually makes it great. Because, if it's, this big thing of, I want to try and stop, 9/11 from happening.
Yeah,
it turns
stop
out
Donald Trump from being
born
or whatever.
All these things have already been governed by the
right, yeah, the time,
the time police,
time administrators.
Yeah. They've basically said, no. Now that this technology is available, you cannot go do any of that sort of stuff.
These major detours, It's only minor detours.
Minor detours that don't change too much, and, depending on what actually happens, if you change something in it, I'm just imagining that you knock on your parents' window, and you no longer have a sister. You have a brother, but it turns out that they're in the future a massive tyrant, and you get
right.
You get in trouble. You get penalized by the time police for you did something that changed all of time and space for the worse. So you now have to fix that. And
well, maybe that's the first thing you do, and now you're this is your punishment. You have to pay back in some way. by just helping people out in these minor inconveniences. It's like, that person just got splashed by water. Go back in time 5 minutes and
give them
try
an
to
umbrellas.
indirectly But then I love the idea of you keep running into all these things of like, you try to take that person's umbrella and it's like, no, it turns out that if you do that, like that person was taking their brand new life-saving cancer technology to the hospital, and the rain short-circuited it, and like, so
and that's
you can't
actually
take
what
that,
made it work.
So you can't take that person. No, you can't take that person's umbrella. It's too big a change. Like,
Yeah.
And just these things that you feel like are these minor things, you try to do something and you just like get this red alert come up. It's like, no, that would have a massive effect in the future. Like, you can't choose that bagel.
Choosing that bagel meant that the person who was going to invent Skynet, actually invented it.
Yeah, that's it. They were going to choke on that bagel, so you can't take it. They were going to choke and die and not invent Skynet. That's the way the prime timeline is supposed to go.
I just love the fact that you go and knock on your parents' window, and it turns out it was when they were making you, and you just disappear. Like, cause a paradox.
My parents lied to me about my age.
Or you just put the date in wrong.
Right. I was thinking about my birthday. I hope I get good presents.
Oh, God.
That's really fun. I like that a lot, actually.
I really like that idea.
Just a wacky kind of, using this massive technology for trivial shit and being thwarted at every turn by...
Every single time that you go to do it, it's like, I'm just imagining all the different ways that you could do it. How many things could actually go wrong?
Well, and I just love this idea of you're finding out about these massive world-changing things, because I'm picturing almost like, it's not just that in the normal timeline that bagel was supposed to choke the Skynet creator. It's like, no, future time travelers have already come back and meddled and like put something in that bagel. And so no more can be done in this sort of area of the time stream, but you just keep running into things like that because there's all of future time for people to have come back and tried to change things, and it just so happens that this was a prime target area for kind of affecting the future.
Yeah, for other reasons. I'm thinking this like kind of like a Hitman level. Like, there's so many different things that that you've got to stop this person from getting to a certain point in the time stream, and you got numerous ways that you can do that. But every single time that you go to do one of those things, it's like, oh no, that's going to cause a massive thing in the future, and there's like one ideal situation that you can get past it. And it turns out that every single time it's just talking to the person, and that just delays them for a little bit.
Yeah. Just being a perfectly reasonable human being and being nice to someone.
Hey, umbrella. There you go. You didn't get wet. Have a good day. Bye. Okay.
No, I just cured cancer. All right, Trevor. Let's do one more. What three words you got for me?
One last one. Okay. Click on what 3 words? Furrier. Authoritatively. Sugars.
Furrier, as in more furry?
Yes.
Okay. Authoritative sugars.
Yeah. Authoritatively. In sugars. I kind of like the idea of this is in the far future.
Okay.
Where you're coming up, the authority of this far future.
Yeah.
Is, some sort of, I'm thinking some sort of advanced human that is just more furry. Like,
okay.
Kind of like it's just an advanced civilization, whatever it is.
But is it humans or is it like some other species that's
it could just be like this is well after humans have died off, and this is the next thing that is here.
So whoever inherited the Earth next.
Yeah, next.
after the climate change, wiped out all humans.
And it's now about finding, the new type of sugar. Like, because the old type of sugar is now becoming like extinct or whatever, and so they're looking for the new artificial sweetener. There's something about
it's just they've actually just reached the point in civilization where they're worrying about the health effects of sugar.
Exactly.
And so
but I think just having a different alternate world where it's a little bit more dystopic.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely I like the idea of discovering the history of where, clearly thousands of years in the future, I feel like maybe this alien race came and found, the dead and dying remnants of human society and sort of went, oh, well, we'll just pick up from here.
Yep.
All the humans are dead, but they've got some cool shit. And so you're then discovering the history of that, but on this backdrop of just this sort of first world problem issue of we really need some artificial sweeteners because sugar's not good for our alien bodies.
What if, I love that idea of they've actually found, the authority has actually found the old collection of how humans used to run everything. They haven't told anyone else.
There's artifacts. They've discovered an old donut maker or something, some sort of old artifact around
and
the way that humans live,
kind of like a Rosetta Stone sort of thing.
Yeah,
they found an old manual and all this sort of stuff, and a lot of their technology is based on what they found from back then.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, sugar is toxic
to them or something.
Yeah, it's completely toxic. So
they really want to figure out what ice cream tastes like because they've
not
read
just
about
ice cream, but donuts and ice cream. There's something about that has been written about in this.
Even waffles, maybe.
Oh, what I could do for some waffles right now.
Oh, I had waffles for breakfast because of my daughter's birthday party.
Oh, God. I love a good waffle. When it's perfectly caramelized. You don't want those soggy waffles. They just need to be crisp. Mwah.
Bit of maple syrup. Bit of ice cream. No,
get fucked with your maple syrup. I fucking hate maple syrup.
Oh, my God.
I don't like the taste of it. Put some chocolate syrup on there. I'm fine. Ice cream. Hell yes.
That doesn't soak in properly. Come on.
It's salted caramel then. That's at least looks the same.
Sure. So yes, this is they want to taste waffles. They can't process. Their bodies can't handle sugar.
Yeah. So what is the alternative?
Yeah. Yeah, I do love. I
fructose
like
is
the
bad.
idea of
they can't have any of the sugars that we normally know.
No. I like this idea of hunting through the artifacts of the destroyed human capitalist societies, and they're intrigued by all these luxuries, all these things that they must have been gods. They had, these amazing foods and technologies and different things, and this doing
amazing
it as
press.
You could do it as a satirical. Yeah, a really interesting satire on current society, but these aliens trying to, now they've just discovered the sugary foods that we ate, and they want to, understand it and experience it themselves.
Mm.
That's cool.
Okay.
I love it.
I think that's where we end for tonight then.
Let's do it. So, thank you for joining us this week on Bitstorm. And if you'd like to find our previous episodes, you can go to podchaser.com/bitstorm or bitstormcast.com or any of your amazing podcast apps There's probably, hundreds of them out there, and we should be on most of them.
Yes, we should. And if you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that song is called Mount Defiance, off of the album Containment Failure by the band Kuridas. It can be found at kuridas.bandcamp.com, and you can get that album and all the other songs for free. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
That's right. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I am Trevor Scott.
And I stubbed my toe. I just got to go back in time. Just a few minutes. Hang on.
And now there's two of you here. What?